So I can apply this to find the area. I want to find the area of the region by found by cosine squared x and sine x cosine x from negative pi over 2 to pi over 4. So I'm going to do a quick little sketch here. Here's negative pi over 2. Here's pi over 4. If I look at cosine squared, and here's 1 and here's a half. Cosine squared at pi over 4, it is 1/2. At 0, it's 1. At negative pi over 4, it's also 1/2. And then at pi over 2, it's 0. So my cosine squared looks like that. Now I'm going to do sine x cosine x. So sine and cosine are the same at pi over 4, and so it becomes 1/2. At 0, sine is 0, so it's 0. At negative pi over 4, it's 1/2, but it's negative 1/2 this time, and then at pi over 2, it's 0, so it looks like this. So I have, it's going to be this one minus that one when I do my area. So my area is the integral from negative pi over 2 to pi over 4 of cosine squared x minus sine x cosine x dx. So I'm going to use, for this one, I'm going to use that rule number 3. So I have 1 plus cosine 2x over 2 here. And this one is pretty easy to integrate because if I let u equal sine x, then du is cosine x dx. So I have, it's going to be the integral from negative pi over 2 to pi over 4 of dx over 2 plus the integral from negative pi over 2 to pi over 4 of cosine 2x over 2 dx minus the integral from negative pi over 2 to pi over 4 of sine x cosine x dx. So if I let sine x be u, then du is cosine x. So here I have x over 2. Cosine 2x, I'm going to use 2x. I need a 2, so it becomes, I have a 1/4 here, and it's going to be sine 2x, and then minus sine becomes sine squared x, and over 2. And I'm going to integrate that from negative pi over 2 to pi over 4, because this was like u, so u squared over 2. So I have pi over 8 plus 1/4 sine of 2 times pi over 4 minus sine squared pi over 4 over 2 minus negative pi over 4 plus 1/4 sine of 2 times negative pi over 2 minus sine squared of negative pi over 2 over 2. And if I work all that out, the final answer is 3 pi over 8 plus 1/2. But you should do the math and make sure you get that.